we now have the wall.
Yay!
The wall is in and painted.
You're way more progressed than I am, bro. We ain't even touching this room at the minute. It's like, it's the least. We need a man to come and look at this. So we're waiting for man.
Yeah, so I was going to say that I'm not man enough to man and do that. I'm not man enough to man and do that. I think got someone else to do it for us.
Yeah, I'm too pants to do stuff like that, but...
Me too. Yeah. If it was in a video game, mate, easy.
You'd be boss of that.
I can make a house. Fucking put me on The Sims, mate. House is done.
And only takes like a minute.
Exactly. And I'm not tired at the end of it.
Oh, right.
God.
We're a little bit late. Mostly my fault. Kind of all my fault. But, had to do house things.
As we always say, life gets in the way, and
when life gives you lemons, you suck on the lemons.
Ooh.
And
lemon.
And you go and play Star Fox.
I love the fact as soon as we finished last week, the pair of us were just like straight on.
Going to be honest, I've only been able to play it twice.
That's all you really need, to be honest.
I've got my own little opinion on it. I didn't finish it, obviously, because it's quite a hard game, turns out.
It's quite a hard game.
It's quite a hard game. It's a little bit dated, obviously, because technology is massively advanced.
Yeah. I mean, can we just... It's the first 3D polygon game on a home console.
Yeah, and it is really, really impressive that the SNES managed to do that.
In 1993.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I think to any Tom, Dick or Harry that just looks at Star Fox now and they just go, what's this crap? They don't even look like real spaceships. There's nothing. There's no actual design to the level.
Like shit, Lego.
Yeah, but when you actually realize when that came out, and there were no other games that looked like that. There was nothing that could process that sort of 3D looking style game. And like that was the main takeaway that I took away from it was how impressive that game is for its age.
Yeah. I mean, I remember seeing in the magazines, and this was coming out, and I would have been an 8-year-old young lad, and I never actually got it. I didn't get it until I was a teenager. But I knew as a kid, like that was something special. But yeah, I wanted other games instead of it, and it wasn't until here we go. I'm gonna say it was New Year's Eve, either 96 into 97 or 97 into 98. I can't remember. I think it was 96 into 97. And I went and stayed at first year of high school, like first Christmas in high school. And one of the pals in my group's like, do you want to stay mine? We're having like a New Year's party, few drinks, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, yeah, cool. I'll have a can of cider,
Yeah, baby.
Yay, boys. At like 12 years old or whatever. And it was just we had the party with that, and we were just sitting in his room, and it was sat. He had his SNES sat, and Star Fox was in. And I remember we watched Muppets Christmas Carol for some unbeknownst reason. Like him, like there's a pile of it. Yeah, I know on New Year's Eve. I have no idea. Just
the Michael Caine one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then like I sat there and I just was like, "What's that?" And he was like, "Oh, starring." And I was just like, "What starring?" And he's like, "Oh, it's supposed to be called Star Fox." And I was like, "Oh, I remember this. Is it any good?" And he was like, "Here you go. Only go and play." And literally, that is what we played through the bells through midnight. We were like six of us in this crammed into this bedroom playing Star Fox, and I was just absolutely blown away. Blown away, just how like you say, how they were able to just make a game like that those graphics, those and I know that they had the Super FX chip that was in it, which is what was able to make the SNES play those kind of games. And there weren't that many games that used the FX chip that spring to mind.
Yeah.
There wasn't that many. But yeah, I played that and I was just like,
I can list you some.
Go on then.
List of games that utilize the Super FX is Star Fox, Star Wing. I think that was the first one.
Yeah.
I take it this is in order. Yeah, Dirt Racer, Dirt Tracks FX, Stunt Race FX, Wild
Stunt
Tracks.
Race. We play Stunt Race because that's on the Switch.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't remember it.
On the SNES one, yeah. Which is it's okay. It's an okay racing game. But you can tell at that point that they've refined it a bit. But...
Yeah. You got Vortex. Got Doom. Doom used it. And Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island used it.
Yoshi's Island, yeah.
Winter Gold. And then there was a few unreleased games. Comanche, FX Fighter, Power Slide, developed at the same time as Dirt Racer. You got Star Fox 2, which eventually released with the Super NES Classic in 2017.
Yeah, and also on the Switch.
Why did that never release on the SNES?
So, I don't remember. I think it was like going to be the last game on the SNES.
Yeah.
And I think at that point they were just like, we'll just integrate what we've made and this into Lilac Wars. So Star Fox 64.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was always that sort of like the rumor that it's the game that was finished but never released, and it was like I think it was like 90% done.
All right.
At that point, so they basically with the SNES Mini Classic, they would just like fix that last 10%.
Yeah.
And got it done and got the game out. Yeah, but I mean, it's at least 25 years or something later than it should have been released.
Yeah. And then there's only Transformers Generation 2, which was abandoned during development. And Yoshi Racing, a prototype that later evolved into Croc, Legend of the Gobbos. That sounds like something I would never want to play.
So there's three games that I know out of that list. And to be honest, one of them's not that particularly great. Do you know what I mean? So it just goes to show you that they didn't just hand this chip out to anyone. It was only certain games. But yeah, so I spent the whole New Year's Eve into New Year's playing it, and when I got home, I was like, I need that game, and went out and got it. And I'm not gonna lie, I love that game.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that game. It was like, say, when we talked about ringtones ages ago, the Corneria, the first level, that was my ringtone on my phone when you had to get the MIDI files.
Yeah,
that was my ringtone. And it had the bloody with all the guys speaking to each other as well as it was ringing. So you have that like the tune, and then every now and then you get that. And it was like, when people used to ring me, like I used to wait like 20 seconds just so I get that and then pick it. You know what I mean? But like, it's just they crammed like so much into that SNES cartridge. I mean, not only were you playing it in it's a 3D arcade sort of like rolling action shooter. You've got that, you've got everything that's going on, but then you've also got, they put in dialogue and story elements whilst you're doing you're battling all at the same time. And it's just,
that was one of the weirder parts of it. I thought, I don't know Star Fox as a series. I know I take it he's called Star Fox, the main guy, or is he just called Fox McCloud?
Fox McCloud, yeah.
So I know him. I know you got that Falco, because I think they're the ones that are in Smash Brothers, aren't they?
Yeah, they're in Smash.
So I know them from that, but like when you play the game, it's such a weird thing to have in that game, because it's basically you're just a polygon chip, aren't you? For the whole game, you're a polygon chip.
Yeah.
There's no foxes. There's no birds. There's no nothing. It's just the guys that just communicate with you.
Yeah.
So which is a cool little touch because it was the mascot era, wasn't it? It was probably
Yeah.
another attempt at
Yeah.
1993. Sonic was a thing, so he's a hedgehog. Maybe we've got this fox. The fox is like a competition for the hedgehog. I don't
Well,
know.
it was no Shigeru Miyamoto had the inspiration from the shrines,
Yeah,
the
I
shrines
saw
that
that
are
on
in.
Wikipedia.
Yeah. So yeah, so the fox was one of them, and that's where on the first level when you fly through the arches.
Yeah.
That was basically what the shrine had, those arches, and that's where he got the idea from.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, having three teammates, very much was it around that time as well that Star Wars was re-released. I want to say that it was roundabout then,
Mm.
maybe. It was definitely when I bought the game, played the game in 96, 97. That was definitely Star Wars re-release had come out roundabout then.
All right.
And to me, that was like like a mini sort of like Star Wars story. Do you know what I mean? It's like the bit of Star Wars that you couldn't get. It's like the flying through space and the dogfights through space and that sort of thing. That's what sort of like drew me to that game. It was like, space fighting, dog fights, and just like, piloting a spaceship and just shooting shit up. And yeah, no, totally 100% appealed to me. So I was in, I was like, it just claws in on me, come here if anything. You know what I mean? And that's it. Yeah. And yeah, I do, I do think it is a hard game. Even that easy track. I mean, I would play this every couple of years and just run through the easy track. I would think to myself, "Oh yeah, no, easy, it's easy." But you do actually like if you're out of like the loop of playing it, it can be quite hard.
Yeah.
You've got to play it a couple of times and get in that groove of playing the game to be able to complete it, even on easy.
Yeah. Well, considering it's 30 years old this year, which is madness. I thought the controls was actually the controls were actually pretty fluid for. I mean, I played it on the Switch.
Simple.
I played it on the Switch. Whether they like maybe tweaked it to make it seem more smooth, I don't know. I doubt it.
No.
But they are just on that Switch Online thing. They are just ports of the game, aren't they? So, I like the customizability of it. You can customize.
That's something in the game that you didn't get. Yeah, so you could have the invert flying or the normal uppers up and down, which idiots like.
Whoa. Although, in all fairness, in flying games like Star Fox, I will invert because that's the way you would fly a plane.
That is true.
It's just with everything else, inverted makes no sense whatsoever. That's a debate for another day.
No, we'll just be like that, battering each other.
I know, yeah.
You've got also different controls. Like, so you mean you've got like you can have Y as your boost and B as your brake and Y and A as you're shooting a missile, and it gives you that option of the different ways to play. And there wasn't many games, I don't think, that you could have to go in the options to change things around. Yeah. Whereas like this is like for start of the game, it's like right, before you start, how are you going to fly the plane? Yeah. And it's like done straight away. You don't have to faff about.
That's something I would just love in general more in games now, because you don't get it now. It's like you normally get your title screen and then you always get the options, but like you start a game or something, you don't know how you want to control. You don't, if it's a brand new IP or something that you've not played, you don't know nothing. So at least if they give you like just these are the basic controls, I'd rather they just shove that in my face straight away. I was like, this is how you're going to be controlling. How do you want to do it? Yeah. And then you get to alter it, and then you just go into the game. There's nothing worse than when you start a game and you start moving, and it's like, what's going on? I don't.
Within 30 seconds, you like pause, right?
Pause, options, customize controls, and it just takes you out the flow a little bit. Whereas if you do it right,
especially in a game that you want to get straight into,
And I did appreciate that with Star Fox. It's like you turn the game on, you press start, and then it's like, how do you want to control it? this, or this. You know, it's not super customizable, but it pretty much gives you
No,
four.
there's four, and two of them are inverted, two of them are normal, and then the ones are like
just switching over a couple buttons.
Y and B is boost and brake, or was it what X and A is boost or brake, whatever.
Which is all you really need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good. How did you find shooting? Did you find it quite intuitive?
Shooting wasn't amazing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it would be cool if you had a little crosshair in the middle. And then obviously the idea is if you want to shoot something to the left, you've got to turn your ship to the left, and it's sort of, the bullets will sort of make their way that way. And it'll, you know, the more you hold left, the further that way you'll shoot.
Yeah.
And then, so it's like, it's not difficult, but it took a bit of time to get used to it.
Where the ship's going, where you're shooting, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's just a little bit awkward.
Yeah,
but it's nothing. It's nothing like, it's not rage quit stuff. It's just you get used to it. You
can press select as well to go into cockpit mode.
Okay.
And you start the second level in cockpit mode.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought the game broke. When that happened, I was like, "Oh God, I broke the game. Why is it zoomed in? I don't think it's supposed to be like this."
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I found cockpit mode so much harder because
I didn't enjoy it.
It's a cockpit. You only get that sort of view, that portion in front of you. You don't see stuff from the side.
Because when you do they call it the barrel roll in it, don't they? But when you go like that.
When you turn,
that was really awkward in cockpit mode. I'm going to be honest. It was, where am I going? It's like I do like if I was playing Gran Turismo or like, you know, a simulated racing game. I don't mind driving in the cockpit mode then, because it's almost like that's the way to experience a game like that.
Yeah, so it's like you're driving a car.
Yeah, but if I'm playing Star Fox or Grand Theft Auto, where you need to be a little bit more of the environment around you.
You need to be aware of what's around. You need
to see your ship. So if something's coming up to you, you can go, Urgh. But in cockpit mode, you know, you've got to be like, oh my God!
And see, like on the first levels where like you're flying through the buildings, you've got the arches out the ground, the towers, and you've got to like turn to the sideways to fly, like, you know. And it's like, if you're in cockpit mode, you go through that, you dodge the first one, and you're like, I'll just go left a little bit, see if I hit it. And you've got no idea, and you leave.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, oh yeah, and I've made this now, and you get, and your ship's getting smashed.
So if the second level puts you in cockpit mode automatically, can you get yourself out of it? Can you press select?
Press select.
Okay.
Yeah.
The more you know.
It plays 100% way more better when you're not in cockpit mode on that second. I think it's the second and third level that do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Just press select and get out, because it's
like,
impossible.
Even though this is like, you know, we've had the week of, we're going to talk about Star Fox, you know, whenever I got the chance, even though there's only 2 chances I got, play the game. And now that we're talking about it, it's not like I'm going to not play it ever again. I do kind of want to, when I get the chance, just jump back on it and see how far I can get. Yeah. Because I'm going to be honest, I was shit.
But it is like, that's what I'm saying though. It is kind of, you've got to kind of get into the groove of it. I mean, even I've completed this game like 40, 50, 60 times, whatever. Yeah. I died on the last level. You know, I was out of that loop, you know, and it's just, you've just kind of got to keep going. And it's like it's what we always go back about the games, like, you know, all the games nowadays have like a save state, like every sort of like couple of bits. Whereas like this game, you die, you start the level again, and you have to keep doing the same level until you get good enough to get to the next one, and go, and that cycle continues until you get to the end. So yeah, there's, you know, you've got to I want to say like train, but it's not really train. You've just got to get good scrub. Yeah. You've just got to get good, and that's not a detriment to the game. You know, there's only 5 levels. Do you know what I mean? So you've got, you know, they have to be hard enough to keep you wanting to come back.
But that's what games were just like back then. There had to be an element of hardness to them.
Yeah,
because it doesn't have a difficulty, does it? It's just, that's the game.
Yeah, Yeah, well, I mean, and you've got the three different routes that you choose at the start of the game. You've got the easy route, the medium route, and the hard route. And I'm not gonna lie, like
I didn't
I think
realize
I've
it
done
was
the
easy, medium,
medium.
hard.
Yeah, so the middle is easy.
Okay, is it?
Yeah, yeah. The
Nice.
right is medium, and the left and up is hard. And
Okay.
I've done medium. I can't remember how many times, but I know I've done it a fair few times, and I think I've only done hard a couple of dozen times, maybe. Like, and I mean, I've had this game since what 1997, so I mean, it's not like I've had it for years, and it is hard. Hard is hard, but that's its intention, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's meant to keep you coming back. If you do easy, then you go to medium, and you do medium, and again, you just got to keep doing the levels and keep doing the levels till you get good. Yeah. So it's got it's longevity. It has longevity.
I've not had the chance to like research facts and stuff, but I'm just having a glance. I'm just having a glance at videogamefacts.com, vgfacts.com.
Is that an actual website?
It's an actual website. It's what I resorted to.
Oh, mate, we should get them to sponsor so we do fat facts.
Sponsored by VG Facts.
Yeah.
If any fact website wants to sponsor Retro Gag Attack,
Fat Facts.
just come forth and you can be part of Fat Facts. Oh, I pressed it too much. Why did it do that? Right.
Oh, okay.
So I'll just reel off one that is like, it's probably an interesting fact in general. That there were 3 cancelled Star Fox games. Ooh. The first, planned for the SNES, the SNES, was a sequel to the original game entitled Star Fox 2. It was completed, but its release was shelved in order to complete the series and continue the series in 3D on the Nintendo 64 with the release of Star Fox 64.
I've played 2. I played 2 on the SNES.
Classic.
The Switch SNES online, and it's a lot of the stuff they did is in Star Fox 64, but there's also so you don't have a set route like on the map. It's very much like you've got ships that you need to destroy, and you've got planets that you need to defend, and you have like a fuel trail. You get so many spaces to go to travel, but at the same time, like ships are firing missiles at you. So you need to either like destroy the missiles or or go to here, and it's kind of like it's quite a tactical thing. And they use that in Star Fox on the DS. There's a Star Fox game on the DS that you flew with the stylus.
Okay.
And it uses the same sort of map as Star Fox 2, which is good. So.
The second was a Virtual Boy release titled Star Fox, which was cancelled, unsurprisingly, due to poor sales of the console, because it is probably one of the most diabolical pieces of shit ever conceived. But I think had a Star Fox game had come out on the Virtual Boy, it would probably be the best game for it.
Oh, yeah.
It would have suited the Virtual Boy.
The virtual screen, I think it would have done as well.
Yeah. And the last was an arcade version, also titled Star Fox. Though very little is known about it or why it was cancelled. The only known image of this game is shown in the attachment below. There's no attachment. Never mind.
Was that Namco? Was that Namco that did that one?
Probably would have been arcadey stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, I know they had the license. They're the ones that did Star Fox. I'm going to say Assault. And that was on the GameCube, and Nintendo had that deal, that Triforce deal with Sega and Namco, that they can make arcade games using Nintendo IP, because there was an F-Zero arcade, and I'm pretty sure that probably Namco would probably be doing that then, because it was them that developed Star Fox game.
It does say here, Star Fox for arcade machines was announced alongside Star Fox Assault. Seemingly nothing has since surfaced about the game, so fans believe it has been cancelled. Based on a flyer, it may have been produced by Namco.
Yeah. See?
You know your shit, boy.
That's it.
Yeah. So I didn't manage to finish it, and I think it would probably take me a good while to finish it because
So what did you get to?
level 2. I kept dying.
Well, I mean, to be
and I
honest,
couldn't get out of cockpit mode.
if you're in cockpit mode, then yeah, you probably would.
I assumed the level was
would.
designed to be played that way, and it's just
Yeah, I'm assuming it would, but I've never played I've never enjoyed playing it that way. So I mean, it's not like yeah, you can change about. So I mean, I'm just having a look at.
But like I say, it's not like we'll obviously give scores for it after, but it's not like I'll never play it again. It ain't Golden
Definitely.
Axe. It's not like I've played that, I'll shelve that for life, never have to touch that piece of shit again. I can appreciate Star Fox for what it was, what it is. Mm-hmm. And it does kind of make me want to play at least Star Fox 64 to see the next step from the first one.
So Star Fox 64 is I would call it's people say it's like a soft reboot.
Okay. Is it worthy of an episode of its own?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair enough.
But you do need to put the time into it.
Is it the one where you fight a slot machine?
That's this one.
Is it?
So that's the slot. I think that's the slot, yeah. That's this one.
Fair enough. That's the only thing I ever remember.
Yeah, so that unfortunately that soft blocks your game. So you can never that was a boss that you were meant to fight, and once you'd got the 777s, that was it. It was over. But the problem is that they ran out of time to finish it. Oh, really? And so if you get to that point and you get the 777s, it doesn't register that that's the end of the level.
Oh no!
And so it just carries on, and you can't get out of that bit at all. So once you get to there,
nice work, Nintendo. 10 out of 10.
You just reset that game. But it was Argonaut Studio as well. They're based in the UK. They were the ones that did they programmed quite a lot of it.
All right, that's cool.
Which at the time I never knew. It was only a couple of years back I'd found out that it was there. But I mean, they did loads of stuff as well back in the day, like Argonaut Studios. So like hats off to them because I mean, fucking load of work to get that game out. I love the bosses. Like the bosses are pretty good.
See, I know.
I see the end of that first level.
Oh yeah, the end of the first level. Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty iconic one. You'll like that one. And
I feel like I got to the second boss. I just don't remember it. I just couldn't be in it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we literally played this on fucking last week, and I totally forgot the fucking bosses.
But like it's nice, and the bosses that I fought, the one boss and the other kind of boss that I fought, they were nice and simple in that you knew what to do. You see them, there's something that'll start flashing, and you shoot
the flash bit that you need to shoot.
Then you just avoid projectiles and stuff. So
yeah,
I don't see how they would progress more with each one or evolve each boss to make them different. Apart from design.
So your second level is you've got like a space station, and it rotates around, and you've got like 4 points on each. Like there's two. Imagine a figure of 8, an 8, yeah, and then you've got like in the middle of the 8, you've got like a sort of like bar that goes across it. That's the boss, and it keeps rotating, and you've got to like move your R-wing to the side of the screen to shoot the points, and once you shoot those 8 points, it comes off and like towards you, so you've got to dodge it, and you just got this
rings a bell now.
Yeah. So that's that one. The third one, the third boss, I think is amazing. So you're against the Andross's Armada, and you're flying through space, and you're taking down big giant like huge ships that are housing all the bad guys and everything like that. And you get to the end, and you've got to actually fly inside one of the big massive ship at the end. and you actually have to fly inside. And you've got to dodge, like up at the platforms coming out the ground or down the roof, and doors closing, and you've got to shoot them to open them, and it's like you're flying through tunnels. It's really fucking good. And then you get to the last bit of that, and it's like you're inside like a power core generator room sort of thing, and it's like the gravity's changed, and the gravity's pulling you into the center, so you've got to fly, and it spins around, so you've got to stay around the outside of the room.
Okay, yeah.
But you're just shooting like power cells on the wall. And when you destroy them, the power core opens up, and you can just shoot into it, and that's pretty cool. And then the fourth one is you do this like spaceship, and it's just a spaceship that kind of like mirrors itself. So you get 3 of them, and they go around, and then when you're shooting it, it goes down onto Planet Venom, and you have to face it again on that one before you actually face the big boss. But like on Venom, the last level, my god, it's hard. Because you got tons of enemies, like enemies on the ground, and you've got enemies in the air, and you're flying around, and you're dodging, and you're shooting, and then all of a sudden, like pillars just come flying from behind you, and they stick in the ground, and they're sticking in the ground. So not only are you trying to like shoot people, you've also got to dodge these sticks and like getting smashed in the ground and that. And it was like, it's bloody hard. And then I got to him, and I was just like, I was underpowered. I'd smashed my wing. So it's like when you collect power ups, you've got your green laser, you get your double blue laser, and then you get like the little, I used to call them what they call like milky balls,
right?
And it's like phantom, what was it, plasma. Whatever, they're just like little white balls of spunk.
Lovely.
Yeah, spunky balls.
Yeah, spunky balls.
Yeah, and they're the strongest spots. They're the strongest blasters in the game. And if you get damaged enough to a wing enough times, you lose the wing. But not only do you lose the wing, you lose your blaster power-ups. And it's like, I got to that point there, and I'd hit my checkpoint, and I had one wing, and the other one's bust, and I've got the shitty basic green laser, and it's like, the level 5 boss, and it's hard as fucking nails, and I'm just like, pew, 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 just trying to so hard. It's really unforgiving if you break a wing. And like you can get a power up to repair it, but when you repair it, you've still got your basic blaster. You have to get the power ups again, and it is quite hard to get power ups. There are some like throughout the levels, but like you see them coming. But obviously, if you're trying to maneuver yourself to get it, you leave yourself open to the enemies to shoot you.
Yeah.
So you've got to think like, is it worth the risk of getting it?
Are any of them like random drops?
You can get some that are random drops, but I mean it's few and far. But from my experience, few and far between. Usually they're the ones that like they've got like say on the first level you had the arch with the doors that opened and closed, and it was like you had to either break or boost to get through it. Yeah. It's kind of like in those little like a set piece sort of thing. You've got to try and time it that way. But yeah, if you lose your wing, you're knackered.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're genuinely knackered. So.
I can imagine.
But you know what? It all adds to the replayability of the game. Do you know what I mean? Because once you know that, it's going to make the game harder for you, and you either want to reset, or you think, you know what? I'm just going to see how far I can get. So.
Yeah, that's the beauty of those old games, though, isn't it? It's checkpoints and that. It's not very often in the older games where if you hit a checkpoint that it'll like replenish your health, it'll give you your ammo back or something like. It's like the checkpoint is the point, that exact point you got to is what you're going to end up being when you come back.
Yeah.
It can be either very nice, it can be very forgiving, or that's how you ended up there. So crack on from that point and just get good.
Because I'd forgot that's what happened. So when I died, I was like, "Oh Christ! At least I'll have both my wings back." Do you know what I mean? It'll make it easy. I'm like, "No, you're just like straight back into a boss battle with one wing and one basic blaster." Thanks, guys.
Because like the funny thing is, because because I grew up playing the old Resident Evil games, which is there's no autosaves, there's no you gotta go to the typewriter and you gotta
Yeah.
have your ink ribbon and you save at the typewriter, and then that's where you're gonna continue from if you die or if you load the game. It's like if you progress 20 minutes into it and you make a bit of whatever, and then you die, it's like, oh balls, 20 minutes of progress all the way back. And it's like, I can't help now, no matter what Resident Evil game I play, even the modern ones, which do give you autosaves and are actually quite forgiving now, when I die, I can't help but go into, oh my god, I've made so much progress and it's going to make me go back to the typewriter, but they don't anymore. Which is like, it's kind of like, ooh, that's quite good. But at the same time, it's like, oh, I kind of want it to take me back to the typewriter because
I was literally going to say it's funny though, isn't it? Because like playing those games and knowing that when you die, you got to go back to progress again.
Yeah.
And it's like, so at some point you do, when you die, you're like, oh shit, and and then you realize it's not. You're like, oh, actually, probably could have been better to actually have gone back to like the last save because I could have got this or that or whatever.
I think for people like us, you sort of. You're practicing, like patience and stuff. That's where you get some patience. Is if you're playing something that you really love, even if you make a shed load of progress, and then it's like you're dead, go all the way back. You still sort of go, all right, then I'll have a bit of this. I'll show you how it's done. Crack on.
Now I know what to do. I'm going to get to where I was before with more shit than I did.
Yeah. But like, I can see anyone. These days, the generations after Star Fox and everything, they'll die and they'll think, I can't bother now. Don't do this on Fortnite. You just go again in Fortnite. Find the next 99 people to play with.
Yeah, just jump right into the next match, don't you? But no, with this, with Star Fox, you have to get good. To get good. So
right. Shall we score Star Fox on the SNES? Slag time. I have to kind of do that to get my page up on my screen.
So you can get your notes. Yeah.
So, what score do you give? Well, I'll give my score because
you hit me with yours.
Mine's nice and simple. I didn't play much of the game. I understand the legacy and sort of the foundations it laid for future 3D games that were coming our way in the beautiful year of 1993 and beyond. And I was genuinely surprised at how impressive it was, the actual 3D-ness of a SNES game. So I'm going to just give it...
The Mega Drive couldn't do that.
Whoa.
Whoa! Sorry,
Sonic didn't need 3D. Sonic was good in 2D. You've not played Sonic CD either. He goes, and then he goes.
I've played Sonic CD.
It's not one of the best ones. It's all right. I'm gonna give it a 600,000 score.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
that's fine.
I have to sort of compare it with the other games that are on the Slag, and I can't put it ahead of anything personally. Ahead of anything that is above it for me. So from Spider-Man above, I can't put Star Fox any higher. But then you can obviously give your score and then it changes things.
Yeah, which I would give it 7.5.
Oh, okay.
7.5. Yeah, I mean it's an awesome game. It's not a lot of people are gonna like the graphics. And to me, I love them
anyway. Yeah,
it's blocky. It's blocky.
Yeah,
but I mean, to me that's a charm to me. That it's just a wee blocky little spaceship shooter thing, and it's just there are better Star Foxes.
Okay.
So in the grand scale of things, I would give all the Star Fox. Actually, no, not all of them. I'd give this and Lilac Wolves 10s if I really wanted to. But I know in the grand scale of things, they're not 10s. So I'd give that 7.5.
It's it's the type of game that it is. It's not a popular genre even nowadays.
There's many games like it. There isn't. That's the thing.
They didn't really. You had early PS1 days, you had the Ace Combat, didn't you? I think it was a similar sort of thing, or like the Sony equivalent.
Well, I mean, it's an on the rail shooter, isn't it? So I mean,
Yeah.
essentially, you're talking your gun games, your Time Crisis, and those sort of games. That's what you expect with an on rail shooter.
Yeah.
Whereas this is completely different. It's you're in a spaceship and you don't have a gun pointing to the screen. You are controlling your ship. You are controlling where you're shooting. So there's not. Maybe is it Panzer Dragoon? That'll probably be the next equivalent, actually. Yeah, you're on the back of a dragon and you're flying your dragon around the screen. That's probably the next equivalent of that game. So, Alexa, shut up.
Oh, you're having a fight with Alexa again.
Every fucking night, every time.
Yeah, the thing.
So.
I actually, I've got no real issue with the on rails sort of you flying your ship sort of shooter.
Yeah.
It's fine, as long as the game's good enough, I can get into it and I'll play it. I personally prefer the 2D ones, the side-scrolly 2D ones. I find them a bit more fun.
Like R-Type.
Yeah, that there was one that we played when we were having a bit of a mess about with these sorts of games, a couple months ago. I think you were with me, unless I was doing it myself. I can't remember. But I was basically just, whether it was the two of us or it was just me, I was going through. There's the one called Gradius or something as well, the old school one.
Gradius. Yes, yeah.
That might be from the bottom up, but like there was a good one on the PS1, and it must have been one of these bloody Japanese crazy all kinds of shit going on. But like there was one. It was proper fun, but it was like it was really fast paced and like there's so many things going on. You just got to avoid all the bullets.
I can't handle them games. I can't process the information on the screen quick, and I'm thinking I'm doing that. I'm thinking I'm doing good. Like, I'm doing good. Like, I've not died, and then I have that split second where I lose concentration, and I'm like dead.
But like,
and they're bloody unforgiving.
They are proper get good at these. They're not going to hold your hand. It'll progress and it'll quickly get more difficult. Get good.
There was one on the GameCube, and I think it would end up being released on the PS2. It's called Ikaruga.
Okay.
And it's that kind of game, but you also had the twist is that you could flip your ship over, and you were white on one side and black on the other, and you had to change the color, and you would shoot different bullets depending on the color, and your enemies were also of the color, so you have to like turn to shoot white, but then turn on the other side to the black side to shoot the black enemies.
Right. Okay.
And like, so it wasn't just one of those top-down shooters that are fucking horrible to begin with. You've also got the tactical where you've got a flip as well, and then like, it's like it looked beautiful, it looked gorgeous, but I could barely make it to the end of the first level. Anyway, I just find them bloody hard.
Yeah,
and it's the same with R-Type on the side-scrolling ones. Like at least for the side scrolling, you've got a wide enough screen that you can see what's coming. But even then, like I'm just like,
But I do find a game like Star Fox a little bit more impressive. Just it was one of. I actually read it was the second 3D game that Nintendo developed. Ooh, but it was the first one for a proper console because the first one came out on Game Boy. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was called like X or something like that. It comes up on.
The one I remember in the game is it called Happy Face?
Happy Face.
It was like a dodgeball game, and like you're in a 3D maze with a dodgeball, something like that. Something like that. And it basically used the Doom 3D to go around.
All right. Oh, where did I see this? No. Oh, there you go. Star Fox was the second 3D Nintendo game after X for the Game Boy in 1992. So I did remember it. X.
Wow.
Look how good that looks.
Looks amazing.
On the Game Boy as well. But that looks like bum.
Oh, imagine on the green screen. Oh.
Next week we're talking X. Not.
Don't even know if we've got that on the box.
Right, but unfortunately,
Yep.
Star Fox did not make the top 10. It didn't break the top 10.
I've not even give you the score.
There's 675,000 in it altogether.
Oh, you've worked it out, have you?
I did
you've done the
maths.
maths.
I think I did the
Oh,
maths
God.
good.
God.
Either way, to get into the top 10, is that the 10? It's all confused because we've got 3. Yeah, so that's the top 10. We've got 3 that are still
together.
Equal 8th. So, yeah, so Mortal Kombat. No Mercy, ISS, and Mortal Kombat all lie bottom. NBA Jam's there as well. That's one of the equals.
When we get to knocking one of them off, we're going to have a serious debate of who gets knocked down.
What, out of the equal ones? Well, one's already out just because of No Mercy.
Who's that? Who pointed off?
NBA's out just because it's N. I've gone in order. IMN. So unless you want to just do a quick debate now.
Oh, let's go for it.
So which one should be 11th?
Right.
ISS, Mortal Kombat, or NBA Jam?
ISS.
Oh no! No! How dare!
Who would you have?
I would go Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
How did we pick Mortal Kombat 1? Is that what we did?
Yeah.
Or was it as like a sort of?
We did it as an amalgamation, okay. But mostly really it was Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
We said was the best of the 3.
I feel like I have more fun with NBA Jam and ISS.
That's fine. I'm punting ISS because NBA Jam's more fun.
Okay. So, well, and NBA Jam is still in then. That's safe.
Yeah. So it'll be Mortal Kombat.
I can.
No Mercy and
NBA Jam. No Mercy's fine. No Mercy is on its own. I just need to update my thing. I can accept ISS going down to 11th. I can because Mortal Kombat's still amazing.
Yeah,
it's just
if me and you played Mortal Kombat 2, we'd have more fun than me and you playing ISS.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean,
no, but no, that's true. Yeah. ISS is better to play on my own. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right, so that's fair enough. So I will drop ISS to there, and Mortal Kombat and NBA Jam can move up a little bit. This,
some funny animation for this.
There's going to be zero animation for it because I cannot be asked and I've not got the time. But the thing is, ultimately, this is probably the most pointless thing we're going to do because in no time, all of these games are just going to go.
I know. That's why we need to establish the order that they go down when it happens.
I would say the only safe games at the minute are 5th and up. I would say Pokemon, RE5, GoldenEye, Doom, our remake are the only safe games at the minute. They're all.
Not about top 5.
Turtles, No Mercy, Mortal Kombat, NBA Jam, ISS are all beatable scores.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with the idea I've got for next week, I think they will be.
Someone's gonna go.
I think someone's gonna go, because the trending franchise at the minute is Super Mario. Because the film's come out.
That's true.
Which you might have mentioned on Twitter yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we could revisit, unless you want to do one Mario, pick a specific Mario game, or revisit Mario vs. Sonic and see if we can get a good episode out.
We probably could actually do Mario vs. Sonic.
Yeah, because it really pisses me off still. That first episode, which is probably one of the best, if not the best, discussion we've had out of all. Yeah, I know this is episode 17, but we've actually probably done about 19 or 20. Just that there's a couple of lost episodes in there.
Yeah.
That was one of the easiest ones for us both to talk about, I think. Because obviously, like Star Fox is a bit difficult for me. I can only give sort of a bit of a hands-on impression of what I played of it this week. Whereas if we do Mario vs. Sonic, then you want to ideally pick the sequel from the first.
Oh.
Which would be that sort of... I really don't... I'm going to be honest, I don't want to play Mario 2 because I don't like that.
Yeah, so, I mean...
Unless you skip that one.
If you want to do it, you can do Super Mario World.
Yeah. Because that's more of a... That's more of a sort of similar game to Sonic 2.
Sonic 2.
Because obviously Super Mario 2 wasn't actually properly Super Mario, was it? It was a Japanese game that they then added Mario characters into.
Yeah. Doki Doki.
Like, yeah, I played a little bit. It was after we did Mario vs. Sonic. I was like, oh, I'm going to get super prepped and I'm going to play... because I'd smashed Super Mario Brothers that week. I did my best to beat that game.
We both completed. Well, I mean, I completed it for the first time in my life.
Yeah, and I cheated. I didn't cheat. I used the save states very much.
No, but so did I. So did I to get to where I know I usually die, and then the save state.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I then played Mario 2, and it was like, I remembered how much I really don't like this game. It's like it's too...
It's not that it's a bad game. It's a bad game. It's different.
Yeah,
it wasn't what everyone was expecting. It's actually a pretty good game in its own right. And I remember when I got Super Mario All Stars on the SNES, I think I actually played more Super Mario 2 than I did of Super Mario 1 and 3.
Yeah. It's different as well, isn't it?
It's different, and that's the thing. Yeah, that's what made it stand out. So
yeah.
So we'll do Super Mario World, Sonic 2.
Yeah, I like that. So we might actually get a Mario vs. Sonic video out. Because it's still able to be watched live. I say live, pre-recorded. It's on the channel. I don't know how to find the videos, but they are there.
Yeah,
all these YouTube recorded ones are there, just that they're not super visible on my channel, I think. So, but this will be hopefully the first official release.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get like one side of the conversation if you find the old one.
Yeah, it's kind of really awkward to listen to. Oh, and I've just realised I've made a separate leaderboard for Mario vs. Sonic.
Mario, we have actually.
So that does mean that Mortal Kombat and NBA Jam are safe for another week.
Yep, from next week. Yeah.
So if we're doing that, because. I did introduce it. Do you remember what I called the Mario? Okay. I don't want to remind you. I want to save it for next week if that's the case.
I know. It's another acronym, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It's not a nice one. Not that Slag's very good, but very nice. But this one's a bit more grotesque.
Smut.
Not far off.
Yeah, something like that. I know.
Yeah. It's something that.
It's fine.
It's something that lingers on the end of your willy.
Oh, Smeg, that's it. Yeah.
So so we'll reintroduce the Smeg next week.
Smeg board.
It does have 4 games on it currently because we have talked about 3 Mario games and 1 Sonic game now. Even though you can only hear my side of Sonic the Hedgehog and Super Mario Brothers.
Still a good side of the story, though.
Well, it's one half of the story, isn't it? At least. So yeah, next week Mario vs. Sonic, Super Mario World versus Sonic 2.
Yeah. Done deal.
I like it. Bro.
Do you think you can complete Super Mario World in a week?
Absolutely not. But I know I don't need to touch Sonic 2, even though I might play it like the day, just to get a bit of the nostalgia again.
You need to do Super Mario. You need to get all the way to the end and do Star Road.
Oh my days!
Now all 96 levels.
Yeah. Well, I might play tonight. I'll have a little play in bed tonight. Is it on the Switch Online thing?
Yes.
Okay. On the NES or SNES?
SNES.
Okay. I'll bash it out. I'll see how far I get.
You can at least do the first build tonight. It only takes about half an hour for the first build.
Half an hour? That's if you're good at Mario.
I'm not. Better get good, bro.
Right, get following, get subscribing. Cheers, bro.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.